Alright, let's get right into it. We're here today to have a serious conversation, a necessary conversation about the state of modern relationships. For too long, men and women have been operating on an outdated system, a system that no longer serves the high-value individual. I'm talking about monogamy. I'm talking about the fairy tale that you're supposed to find the one and live happily ever after, shutting yourself off from all other possibilities. Society has sold you a bill of goods, and many of you are paying the price with frustration, heartbreak, and a diminished sense of self-worth. It's time to elevate your thinking and expand your options beyond the restrictive frameworks of monogamy and even the illegalities of bigamy. We're moving toward a more enlightened, more practical approach: consensual non-monogamy, or, for the purpose of this discussion, polygamy. This isn't about chaos. This is about structure, honesty, and building a life that truly aligns with your ambitions and your nature. To do that, you need a set of rules, a new code to live by. That's what we're here to lay out today, the 10 commandments for redefining your relationships. These principles are designed to empower you, to build your self-worth, and to liberate you from the shackles of outdated social norms that have held you back. This is for the man or woman who knows their value and is ready to operate at a level the average person can't even comprehend. Pay close attention, because what I'm about to share with you is not for the faint of heart. It requires discipline, self-awareness, and a radical commitment to your own freedom. If you're content with the status quo, if you're comfortable being average, this conversation isn't for you. But if you're ready to break free, to stop playing by rules that were designed to limit you, and to start building a relational life on your own terms, then you're in the right place. These commandments are your new foundation. Let's begin the masterclass. The first commandment is the bedrock of this entire philosophy. You must reject monogamy outright. Let me be clear. The idea of a lifelong, one-on-one exclusive commitment is a social construct that, for many, is a direct path to mediocrity and resentment. Why would a high-value individual, a person with options, with ambition, with a vision for their life, willingly place themselves in a cage? You are told this is the pinnacle of love, but what it often becomes is a negotiation of sacrifice. You are expected to limit your experiences, your connections, and your growth for the comfort of one person. This is not a winning strategy. Instead, your default setting should be openness. Prioritize relationships that allow for freedom and multiple connections. This isn't about being dishonest, it's about being upfront from the very beginning. Your value proposition should include the fact that you operate on a different level. You are not seeking to be someone's everything because you understand that is an impossible and frankly undesirable burden. Your focus is on building a life, an empire, and you will entertain connections with those who complement that vision, not restrict it. Refusing to entertain the notion of a traditional one-on-one lifelong commitment is not a sign of fear, it is a sign of ultimate self-awareness and strength. Commandment number 2 is about momentum. You must focus your energy forward, on new connections, and completely cut ties with ex-partners. The past is the past for a reason. An ex-partner represents a failed investment, a business that went under. Why would you pour more resources, more time, more emotional energy into a defunct enterprise? It makes no logical sense. Every moment you spend entertaining a text, a call, or a what-if from an ex is a moment you are stealing from a potentially more fruitful, more aligned connection in your present and future. It is a distraction from your mission. You need to operate like a shark, always moving forward. Redirect that energy. When a relationship ends, the door must be closed, locked, and the key thrown away. Your time is your most valuable asset. Use it to vet new prospects, to build your network, to cultivate new relationships that are built on the foundation of your current elevated self. Dwelling on the past or keeping exes in your orbit is a hallmark of average, emotionally driven thinking. A high-value person understands the concept of sunk cost. You cut your losses and reinvest your assets where they have the potential for growth. The world is full of people. Stop going back to the one who already proved they weren't the right fit. The third commandment is critical, and it requires you to be ruthless in your selection process. You must eliminate jealousy from your relational sphere. Jealousy is a low-level emotion. It is a cancer. It stems from insecurity, a sense of ownership, and a scarcity mindset. A high-value individual cannot afford to be entangled with a jealous, possessive partner. It will sabotage your goals, drain your energy, and create unnecessary drama that distracts you from what is truly important. You must screen for this from day one. Any sign of possessiveness, of irrational suspicion, of attempting to control your interactions with others, is an immediate disqualification. In fact, you should flip the script. A partner's comfort with and acceptance of polygamy, or an open dynamic, is not just a preference, it is a green flag. It is an indicator of their own self-confidence, their security, and their alignment with a mindset of abundance. They understand that your connection with others does not diminish your connection with them. They see the value in a network of relationships, not the threat. If someone tells you they are not the jealous type, you must test that statement. But if they demonstrate it, if they prove they can operate with emotional maturity and without a sense of ownership, you have found someone who is operating on a higher frequency. Cherish that, because it is rare. Let's move to the fourth commandment, which reinforces the first, but, takes it a step further. It is not enough to simply reject monogamy, you must actively embrace and practice non-monogamy. This is about being proactive, not passive. It means you stop entertaining conversations about being exclusive. When you are getting to know someone, the expectation should be set from the outset. You are not on a path to a one-on-one relationship. You are not playing the field until you find the one. Your lifestyle, your fundamental operating system, is one of multiple concurrent connections. This must be communicated not with apology but with confidence. This is your frame. You are not asking for permission. You are stating a fact of your existence. I date multiple people, and I do so openly and honestly. That is the stance. Anyone who attempts to negotiate this, to persuade you to change, to give them a chance to be your one and only, is fundamentally incompatible with your vision. They are trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. Seeking multiple partners openly is not a phase, it is the strategy. It allows you to diversify your emotional and social portfolio, to learn from different people, and to build a support system that is robust and multifaceted, rather than fragile and dependent on a single person. Commandment number 5 addresses a fallacy that traps so many people, the tyranny of the timeline. You must prioritize self-growth over age. Society, particularly for women but also for men, creates this sense of urgency. You're getting older, you need to settle down, the clock is ticking. This is nonsense logic designed to create panic and force you into suboptimal decisions. Your age is just a number. What truly matters is how you are using your time. Are you growing? Are you building? Are you becoming a more interesting, more capable, more valuable individual? That is the metric of success, not whether you've acquired a spouse by a certain birthday. Use your time to build diverse connections, and I'm not just talking about romantic or sexual ones. Build your professional network, cultivate deep friendships, find mentors, become a mentor. Every connection you build adds value to your life and makes you a more formidable person. A life rich with varied relationships is infinitely more stable and rewarding than a life narrowly focused on finding a single romantic partner. Stop worrying about your age, and start focusing on your value. The more you invest in your own growth, intellectually, financially, socially, and emotionally, the more options you will have, regardless of the date on your birth certificate. The sixth commandment is a rule of absolute self-respect. You will never under any circumstances reconcile with an unfaithful ex. Let's be very precise here. An ex who cheated on you made a conscious decision to disrespect you, to betray your trust, and to devalue your relationship. Their return is not a sign of their love, it is a sign of their failure. Their other options didn't work out. The grass wasn't greener. They are coming back to you not because you are their first choice, but because you are their safe choice, their fallback plan. To accept them back is the ultimate act of self-betrayal. It tells them, and more importantly, it tells yourself, that your standards are negotiable. Your self-worth must be non-negotiable. When an ex who was unfaithful attempts to re-enter your life, you must see it as an insult. They are testing your boundaries, assuming you have a short memory or low self-esteem. Your response must be swift, decisive, and final. No, it is a complete sentence. Rejecting them is not about punishment, it is about preservation. You are preserving your dignity, your peace of mind, and your commitment to only allowing people in your life who respect you. There are billions of people on this planet. There's absolutely no reason to recycle the one who already proved they are defective. Close that door forever. Okay, so commandment number 7 requires a bit of nuance. The term might sound kind of old-fashioned, but the idea behind it is actually pretty modern. Consider concubinage or, some other form of consensual non-monogamy if you're single. Let me just clarify what that means today. Basically, it's about exploring relationships where everyone is on the same page, that things are non-exclusive and not heading toward marriage. It's really just an honest arrangement. If you're a single man or woman of value, you can actually build a roster of companions, people you spend time with, share experiences and intimacy, and all of it comes with the clear understanding that there's no expectation of monogamous commitment. The key here is honesty and transparency. But, and this is super important, this approach is not something you want to try if you're already in a committed primary relationship that started with a totally different set of expectations. Trying to bring this idea into a long-standing monogamous relationship is, honestly, almost always a recipe for disaster. Why? Well, because the foundation just wasn't built for it. It'll almost definitely trigger the jealousy and insecurity you're hoping to avoid. And the risk of emotional damage is just way too high. So this commandment is really for the unattached person who's building their relational life from scratch. You start with the frame of non-monogamy. You don't try to tear down an old house and rebuild it with the same unwilling resident still inside. The 8th commandment might surprise some of you, but it is a sign of true intelligence and long-term thinking. You must respect maternal bonds. This means you honor your mother, or the primary parental figures who raised you. Their approval, their wisdom, and their perspective have value. Now this does not mean you grant them veto power over your life. You are the CEO of your own existence. But a wise CEO listens to their board of directors. Your mother often has an intuition, a sixth sense about people that you, in the heat of a new connection, might overlook. Disregarding their input entirely is arrogance. Valuing their approval demonstrates that you are not a rogue agent, disconnected from your roots. It shows you have respect for legacy, for family, and for the people who invested in you from the beginning. If the people you choose to bring into your life cannot earn the basic respect of your mother, you need to ask yourself why. Is it a flaw in your mother's judgment, or is it a flaw in your partner's character that your mother is seeing more clearly than you are? A person who is truly high value and secure will have no problem showing respect to the woman who raised you. It's a simple test, but it reveals a great deal about a person's character and their suitability for a place in your life. Commandment number 9 is about protecting your sovereignty. You must identify and relentlessly avoid emotional manipulation. One of the most common and destructive forms of this is when a partner uses pregnancy or children as a tool for control. Let's be unequivocally clear. A child is a lifelong commitment, not a bargaining chip. Any person who would use a pregnancy, planned or unplanned, to try and trap you, to force a commitment, or to control your decisions is not a partner. They are a saboteur. They are engaging in emotional blackmail of the highest order, and you must not capitulate. Your feelings, your ambitions, and your life's direction matter. Affirm that to yourself. If you feel you are being manipulated, you probably are. If you feel cornered, it's because someone is intentionally backing you into one. This applies to all forms of emotional manipulation: guilt trips, ultimatums, constant drama. A healthy adult relationship, even a non-monogamous one, is built on mutual respect, not control. Your response to manipulation must be to create distance. You cannot build a stable, prosperous life with someone who sees your emotions as levers to be pulled for their own benefit. Recognize the tactic, name it for what it is, and refuse to play the game. We arrive at the final commandment, the one that governs all your decisions. You must consistently choose intelligence over emotion. Heartache is temporary. Bad decisions can have permanent consequences. When faced with a relational crossroads, you must train yourself to step back from the immediate storm of feelings, the anger, the sadness, the passion, the longing, and analyze the situation logically. What is the smart move here? What decision aligns with my long-term goals? What course of action preserves my value and my peace? Your emotions will lie to you. They will tell you to go back to the ex, to tolerate the disrespect, to abandon your principles for a moment of comfort. Your intellect, when you've trained it, will tell you the truth. Moving forward decisively is a skill. It means when a relationship is no longer serving you, you end it. When a person proves to be incompatible, you remove them from your life. You do it cleanly, without endless drama or second guessing. This is not about being cold or heartless. It's about being the disciplined guardian of your own life. Prioritizing logic over heartache is the ultimate power move. It ensures that you are always the one driving your life, not being taken for a ride by your own fleeting feelings or the manipulations of others. Let your head lead, and your heart will eventually heal and follow. So there you have it, the 10 Commandments, a new framework for a new reality. As you move forward, I want you to hold on to a key idea, especially when dealing with the past. There's a phrase, past is past. Mapapatawad kosila maraming consent basta walang iwanan. This translates to a powerful principle. I can forgive them with plenty of consent, as long as no one gets left behind or abandoned. This is the spirit of mature, consensual non-monogamy. The past is done. You can forgive past mistakes, both your own and others, but the path forward must be built on a foundation of radical consent. This isn't a free-for-all. This is not an excuse to be reckless or to hurt people. It is the opposite. It is a demand for higher levels of communication and integrity. Every single person involved must agree to the terms. There can be no coercion, no pressure, no one being dragged along unwillingly. The basta walang iwanan part is crucial. It means you operate with a sense of responsibility to the ecosystem you are creating. Forgiveness is for the past, consent is for the present and future. Everyone must be a willing and enthusiastic participant in the relationship structure you build. Ultimately, this is about your liberation. It's about giving you the tools to redefine relationships on your own terms, free from the jealousy, guilt, and outdated programming that society has burdened you with. These commandments are not just rules. They are a declaration of your self-worth. They are your permission slip to stop asking for a seat at a table that was too small for you anyway, and to start building your own damn banquet hall. Take these principles, apply them with intelligence and integrity, and go build the life you deserve. The choice, as always, is yours.